And that is your Bud Light story of the game. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eagles 360, presented by Santander. Dave Spadaro, Eagles Insider, along with the Hall of Famer Brian Westbrook. I know. The Eagles on the way to Super Bowl 52 after a complete destruction of the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night. We are here to talk about it. And Brian, let's first start with the human side of this, the experience that you had, the pride you feel as a former player, and this entire city and world of Eagles fans exulting on this Monday.
This is a moment, and I remember back to '04 when we played and we won it, and you couldn't sleep. You're just so happy for yourself. You're happy for your teammates. You're happy for the city. And I have that same type of feeling right now. I'm just so happy for these guys. And I almost feel like they're my little brothers. I've seen them grow so much throughout the season. I've seen them face adversity. I've seen them overcome. I've seen them overachieve, do a lot of things that no one expected them to do. And now they are in the point where they can grab history, grab a really historic moment for this Eagles franchise. New
England Patriots, the opponent in a couple of weeks. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. But we want to discuss something that came from nowhere, 38-7 over the Minnesota Vikings. Let's begin with the offense presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Nick Foles, 3 touchdown passes, going down the field, point perfect on his throws down the field, the way he moved in and out of the pocket. Brian, let's start there talking about the offense. Number 9, his performance.
You know, the last couple weeks of the season, Nick Foles just didn't look very good, and there was a lot of concern about how he's going to lead this football team going into the playoffs. This whole entire postseason, and really the last quarter of the Falcons game, he gained some confidence. He saw himself do some things, and he was very successful throwing the ball and completing some passes. This game against Minnesota, I'm talking about the deep ball. The deep ball we've struggled with all season long showed up. Torrey Smith catching the ball, Alshon Jeffrey catching the ball, another deep ball off the flea flicker. It's all about precision passing. Nick Foles looked great, very accurate night.
Yeah, 26 of 33, great night for Nick Foles, the best game of his life. I know 7 touchdowns against the Oakland Raiders, but that didn't come in an NFC Championship game, and he really wasn't challenged in that game. He was challenged on Sunday night, but he was also protected by an offensive line that did an awesome job. Halapoulivaati Vaitai on the left side against Everson Griffin, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 13 sacks this year. No peep, barely a mention of Griffin in this game. Start there, Brian, and talk about this offensive line.
If you want to be successful running the football or passing the ball down the field, you have to be able to win in the trenches. And I think in the game plan, winning in the trenches was a big part of it. But just to look at Vaitai on the flea flicker play. Everson Griffin, great defensive end. Vaitai straining, but they're holding the pocket. They allow Nick Foles to have 3, 4, 5 seconds in the pocket to throw the ball down the field. You can't be successful without these guys. Again, another group overachieving. You lose a Hall of Famer. You lose a Hall of Famer left tackle in Jason Peters, but you're still able to protect your quarterback. That's what it's all about. They did a great job.
Brian, this Eagles offense on 3rd down converted 10 of 14 opportunities against a defense that had allowed only a 25% conversion percentage this year, best in the NFL in 10 years. Remarkable job by the Eagles on 3rd down. Remarkable job getting the ball to Zach Ertz, 8 catches, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns for Alshon Jeffrey. Torrey Smith, the deep ball. Eagles still getting the ball to Nelson Aguilar. Everybody contributed. I think it was the best offensive performance of the year, Carson Wentz included.
Well, you have to think about this. It starts with the head coach. And Doug Peterson did a masterful job of calling the right play at the right time, finding the strengths of Nick Foles. He said at the end of the season, we're going to go back and look at the plays that Nick Foles had success with in the past. And obviously, he went back and saw something on the film. And now those plays are coming to fruition and paying off in big dividends for this football team. Big chunk plays down the field. We didn't have very many of them in the last few weeks.
Everything changed on the Patrick Robinson interception. The Eagles took off from there, 38 unanswered points. And there was a sequence, Brian, we talked about it a little bit before the show. Late in the first half, Eagles 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line after a Minnesota punt, 21-7 lead, 39 seconds left on the clock. You think, let's just kneel and go into the locker room, get the ball back first in the second half. No, instead, what Doug Peterson did was have Nick Foles throw a couple of easy completions that turned into big gains, and the Eagles get 3 points out of it. Contrasting that with what happened in the Jacksonville-New England game, when New England scored at the end of the first half, Jacksonville had 2 timeouts left on the clock and took a knee with 40 seconds left. Really stark contrast there, and very telling of the confidence that Doug has in his offense.
Confidence in your quarterback, confidence in your offense, obviously confidence in your play calling. the good teams, the very good teams in the league, and I consider the Eagles one of those good teams in the league. They score before the half and they score after the half. That's the telltale sign of a good team. Doug Peterson pushed his team. He believed in this squad. They go down and get a field goal before halftime.
So it was a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was a 10 for the Eagles offensively against the Minnesota Vikings. That is our look at the offense presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. We've got a lot more to get to here on Eagles 360, presented by Santander. We'll talk about the defense that changed the game around and put the clamps on the Vikings after a first drive touchdown by Minnesota. And, of course, the special teams also playing a big part in the win. But when we return to Eagles 360, we're going to take a look at some of the big plays in Sunday night's game. The NFC Championship belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations to all of you out there who are feeling so good about this team. We got more to get to on Eagles 360. We'll be right back.